And an interesting part of your report last night involved Lakers advisor Kurt Rambis and the role that he has in all of this and the role that his wife Linda has in all of this. I'm just going to give you the floor here. Explain as best you can for the audience what is going on behind the scenes with the Lakers right now.
I mean, there are a lot of voices in this senior leadership, and this organization is certainly leaning on the Rambis family to help guide their direction. They were part of the head coaching search. Kurt Rambis was in coaching meetings last year. He was around the coaching staff. There was some conversation about him being part of a future coaching staff in LA. Certainly, he was there as a player. He was a Phil Jackson assistant for a very long time, went with Phil to New York, now back to LA. And, Linda Rambis has been an official in the Lakers organization for years, but very close to Jeannie Buss, and she's involved in a lot of high-level decision-making. And so when you're meeting with candidates and you're talking with potential coaches, these are all the people involved in it. And, the power is not just there with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, their GM, but both Rambises.
It could not, at least from the outside, look more dysfunctional, if that's not a double negative, than it does right now. I guess the first question I'll ask, and it's certainly not the last, is where do they go for a coach now? What is the latest there? Well,
Jason Kidd was a candidate they interviewed for the head coaching job. He met with Pelinka and Kurt Rambis at the Laker facility, and they were interested in him joining a potential Ty Lue staff. And I was told that was not a deal breaker for Ty Lue, that he had not talked to Kidd about the possibility, but he was open to the idea. That deal fell apart more on contractual terms. So I think they may circle back with Kidd here. Lionel Hollins is a coach who's been out of the league for a few years, but he's a favorite of Kurt Rambis. I know Phil Jackson's a big Lionel Hollins fan. These are the kind of names right now that the Lakers are considering, but they've been told no by their two top candidates. First, Monty Williams, who went to the Suns, and Ty Lue. And in both cases, I'm told, I think the Lakers never expected a coach was going to pick the Phoenix situation, pick Robert Sarver over them. And they believe that Ty Lue wanted that job desperately enough to accept a 3-year deal. But he and his reps walked away from that last night. I think both decisions took the Lakers back. Maybe they should have expected it. They didn't. And now they're back to square one in this search process.
All right, Woj, well done. Thank you, my friend. And we'll come back to you again as the events warrant. Let me take it very briefly to the table here, and we'll have much more time to unpack this. But you live in L.A. What?
I had no idea. I knew it was a soap opera. Now living there for a year, this is incredible, and it keeps outdoing itself all the time. The Monty Williams thing, he needed to get years from Sarver, because Sarver is obviously in the argument for one of the worst owners in the NBA as far as his tenure there. So if you look at the parameters of the deal, if Lue was only getting 3, then Monty was probably getting a shorter deal. So he takes a security in Phoenix because you're going to want it. But for Lue, I respect Lue in that I don't know that he had leverage, and he's still going, hey, I got a ring. I want 5 years out of this deal.
Dude walked from $18 million. Bill Polian, I used to sit with him in a green room. He used to say you have to have one voice, one vision, and then everyone else needs to get in line. The Lakers have 8,000 voices. Who is the one person that can step up in that organization and say, this is the direction we're going, this is how we're going, and this is what we're doing? When you have 10 voices, you have no voice.
Well, the person who should do that is the owner, and that's Jeannie Buss. The person who can do that, I would assume, is LeBron James.